Could have guessed that the robber standing before them had such a gentle side. 6 people armed with nothing more than toy guns somehow managed to pull off a successful bank heist. And shockingly, after getting the money, the robbers even directed their own movie about the whole ordeal. This led many to criticize the director, claiming that after robbing the bank they were now trying to steal the box office crown too. It all started years ago on one particular evening. Unemployed and down on his luck, John tossed his cigarette butt into the rain. Watching the butt float away in the water, his curiosity got the better of him. He decided to follow it and see where it would end up. As the butt got carried down a drain, John looked up and saw a bank across the street. Suddenly an idea sparked in his mind. The next day John met up with a friend and shared his plan to rob the bank. His friend Conti was quick to point out the serious consequences of such an act and that it would require a lot of people and tools. So John sought out Jeff, a local thief, and promised him that if they succeeded, Jeff would never have to steal again. After finalizing their plan, the next challenge was figuring out how to crack the bank's vault. The following day John walked into the bank with a camera. His clumsy behavior caught the attention of the security monitors. Before long, the security staff had him cornered and took him to the basement for questioning. To everyone's surprise, they found no incriminating photos on his camera. This, however, was all part of John's plan. He knew this would get him into the basement where he could scope out the vault's location. Back at their hideout, John quickly sketched out a blueprint of the bank. Once the plan was ready, they moved their equipment into the sewers and began digging a tunnel to the bank. However, halfway through they still hadn't figured out how to break into the vault. The next day Jeff disguised himself as a wealthy man and rented a safe deposit box at the bank. As the bank employee opened the safe for him, Jeff closely observed the lock. A solution quickly came to him. Back at their base, he asked Conti to design a hydraulic device capable of breaking a lock in just 7 seconds. Finally, the day of the heist arrived. The group covered their fingerprints with glue and Conti took his position in the sewers. John and the others wore ski masks and stormed the bank. Jeff ordered the staff to start filling bags with cash. Meanwhile, Jeff led the team in disabling the bank's security cameras. John made his way to the storage room and moved a cabinet out of the way. He instructed Conti to break through the wall, and together they assembled the hydraulic machine in front of the vault. Outside, the police had gathered, unsure of the hostages' whereabouts, so they hesitated to storm the building. Inside the vault, John and his team successfully opened it to reveal piles of cash and even some gold-filled boxes. John radioed his teammates to prepare for the getaway. Jeff made sure all hostages were locked on the first floor before heading to the storage room to transport the cash. Before they left, John placed the toy guns in a very visible spot. His reasoning? If they were caught, the fact that the weapons were just toys would ensure that no one was harmed and they'd likely face a lighter sentence. Meanwhile, the hostages' families received phone calls and the police negotiator quickly realized something was off. He gathered a team and charged into the bank, but by the time they arrived, the robbers had already vanished. The negotiator was left baffled, unable to figure out how they had escaped. At that moment, the robbers were already at the evacuation point. Their teammates opened a manhole cover and one by one they crawled up from the sewers and into the getaway cars. A crane lifted the cash and the entire crew made their way to their hideout, where they split the money evenly.